Welcome to this tutorial on creating a comprehensive personal budget in Google Sheets. A personal budget is one of the most fundamental and powerful tools for actively taking control of your personal finances. It helps you understand and plan where your money goes. Many people already use Google Sheets to build simple finance trackers. Today, I want to take this to an entirely new level. I'll show you how to create a fully dynamic personal budget management tool in Google Sheets. This tool will allow you to proactively plan and track your income allocation across expense and savings categories for every month and year. Based on your records, this tool will automatically generate a well-structured and interactive summary dashboard with a detailed breakdown of your budget performance for each month and year. I'll guide you step by step to create this budget tool and show you how to use it for many years, storing your full history and analyzing each month and year with just 3 dynamic spreadsheets. Before we begin, I must mention that I'm not a financial advisor. This tutorial focuses solely on creating a powerful personal finance tool in Google Sheets and includes instructions on how to use it effectively. Let's start building. Make sure you have a Google account. In Google Apps, select Sheets and then start a new spreadsheet. Go to File, Rename, and type My Budget Planner 1. Press Enter. Next, create additional sheets. Click the plus sign at the bottom left 4 times. Double-click on Sheet 1 and rename it to Budget. Sheet 2 to Cash Flow. Sheet 3 to Summary. Sheet 4 to C1. Sheet 5 to C2. This template is a powerful tool for setting up, tracking, and analyzing your personal budget. We'll build this ultimate Google Sheets personal budget step by step. The final template file is available for download in Google Sheets, and you can find the link in the description below this video. Let's start with the first worksheet, Budget. Click on that tab to open it. Setting up the budget plan. Extending columns. First, scroll to the last column of your budget sheet, usually column Z. Select All, using Ctrl-A, copy that, using Ctrl-C, then click column Z and paste with Ctrl-V. This extends the sheet to column AY. Repeat the process with Ctrl-A, copy, click any cell, select column AY, and paste. Now, you're at column CW. Repeat again to extend to column GS. One final time extends it to column OK. This will allow you to build your budget for the next 25 plus years. You can extend it further anytime by adding more columns. Setting the background. Select all cells, Ctrl-A. Choose Fill Color from the toolbar, click Add Custom Color, type #FCE4D6, and press OK. Feel free to choose any background color you like. Creating the header. First, merge cells A1 through B3. Highlight the cells, click Merge Cells on the toolbar, and select Merge All. Type Budget, then format it. Set the font size to 20. Make the text bold. Change the text color to number 806,000. Align both horizontally and vertically to center. Next, merge cells E2 through G2. Type Set your starting year, format it. Set the font size to 14. Make the text bold. Align horizontally to right. Select cell H2, fill it with white, and name it as initial_year. Press Enter. Doing this, you created the named range. You can find it anytime through a menu, Data, Named Ranges. This will be referenced later in the development of your spreadsheet. Building budget tables. First, type income in B6 and numbers 1, 2 through 14 in column C6 through P6. Next, fill area B7 through 08 with sample data, leaving column C empty. In P7, enter the formula. Set the font to bold and drag this formula down to P8. Next, format the area. Highlight D7 through P8, then go to Format, Number, Custom Number Format, choose hashtag, hashtag 0 and click Apply. Highlight the area, V6 through P8, right-click, and select Convert to Table. Renaming and formatting the table. First, rename table. Rename the table as Income. Next, set row heights. Select rows 5 to 100. Right-click, choose Resize rows 5 to 100, select Specify row height, set it to 21 pixels, and click OK. Next, add monthly totals. In B10, type total. Set the font to bold, and align the text to the right. In the beginning, we created C1 and C2 worksheets. These sheets will be used for some intermediate calculations and formatting. Setting dynamic row references. Open the C1 sheet and add the following. In A2, type income_upper_row_number. In A4, type income_lower_row_number. In A6, type income_total_row_number. Next, add formulas. In B2, type in B4, type in B6, type. These formulas will dynamically track the rows for the income table. Setting up the total formula. Go back to the budget sheet. In D10, enter the following formula. And set the font to bold and align the text to the right. Drag the formula horizontally from D10 to P10. Setting the starting year and months. First, set starting year. In H2, type your starting year, example 2024. Set the font size to 14, bold, and align its center horizontally. Next, Add year in the header. In P5, enter equals $H$2. Set the font size to 11, bold, align, center, horizontally and vertically. Next, add months in the header. In D5, type format the font size to 11, bold, with horizontal and vertical alignment set to center. Next, fill other months. Drag D5 to E5 to copy it. In the E5 formula, restore the reference to P5 and change the month number 1 to 2 in the first date function. Copy E5 across to O5. Restore the reference to P5 and adjust the month number in the formulas for March through December. Test the data table. Click on B9 and type dividend, then press enter. The income table will automatically extend to include another row. However, there may not be spare rows above the total row. In this case, you need to add more rows manually. To add rows to this table, click the last category, like dividend in our example. Press Alt plus Shift plus I, then press R, followed by arrow down and enter. Type a new category, example interest, into the new row, then press enter. As you can see, the table has been extended by one row, allowing you to enter data for a new category. Formatting the income table. Turn off alternating colors. Set table background colors. Select B7 through P11 and set the fill color to #F6E0. Select C6 to C11 and set the fill color to match the general background color. Adjust column widths. Set the width of column A to 45 pixels. Column B to 177 pixels. Column C to 12 pixels. If you need to delete some rows from the table, you have to follow the next steps. Click on Dividend, right-click, and choose Delete Table Row. Repeat the process for the interest row. This demonstrates how to manage rows in this table. Cosmetic adjustments. Hide grid lines. Go to View, Show, and uncheck grid lines. Apply borders. Select B5 to P9, then go to Borders and select all borders. Set the border color to dark gray 1. Adjust specific borders. Select B5 C5, go to Borders, and choose Clear Borders, Right Border. Customize header colors. Open the Income Table menu, go to Customize Table Colors, and set the header color to #BUB7. Click Done. Apply the same color to the months and year cells in the header row. Hide column headers. Change the text color of the column headers, B6 to P6, to match the background color, effectively hiding them. Creating 2 more tables. First, copy the income table layout. Select B5 through P9, then copy, Ctrl-C. Paste this selection twice to B11 and B17. Next, rename the new tables. Rename the B11 table to Expenses. Rename the B17 table to Savings. Next, update formulas in Totals column. Change the formula in P11 and P17 to equals $5. Next, apply colors. Expenses table. Header color, #FDCCD8. Apply the same color to the months and year cells in the header row. Select B13 through P15 and change the row's color, #FFE40A. Savings table. Header color, #CADV. Apply the same color to the months and year cells in the header row. Select B19 through P21 and change the row's color, #E4EVC. Restore color for column C. Next, hide column headers. Change the color of the column headers fonts to match the background for both tables. Next, update table categories and values. Expenses table. Categories, housing and utilities. Values, housing, 1,200, utilities, 100. Savings table. Categories, savings account and retirement account. Values, savings account, 200, retirement account, 100. Updating formulas for totals. First, define rows in C1 tab. Open the C1 tab and copy A2 through B6. Paste it to A9 and A16. Replace income with expenses in rows 9 to 13 and with savings in rows 16 to 20. To ensure consistency with the table names, make sure to use capitalized first letters in formulas, matching the exact table names. Switch back to budget sheet. Update totals in expenses table. Select D15 and adjust the formula replacing reference C1B4 to C1B11 and C1B2 to C1B9. Press Enter and distribute this formula to P15. Next, update totals in savings table. Select D21 and adjust the formula replacing reference C1B4 to C1B18 and C1B2 to C1B16. Press Enter and distribute this formula to P21. Extending the budget template and managing categories. Adding rows and values to tables. To add more rows, click on the last category in the income table. Press Alt plus Shift plus I, followed by R, arrow down, and enter. We will add 5 more records in each table. You can add, delete, or modify category names in the future as needed. Current categories are for demonstration purposes only. Next, I will show you how to extend this template for one more year. Select the range C5 through P36. Drag this selection to AD36 to extend a template for another year. Formatting adjustments. Add a top border, dark gray one, to Q5, Q16, and Q27. Update formulas. Select AD5 and add 1 to the current formula. Clear data for year 2025. Select R7 and clear the cell. Drag this empty cell across R7 to AC7 to clear data for the entire row. Drag this selection down to row 13 to clear the table. Make sure the row 14 stays intact. Repeat the same process for the expenses and savings tables. Adding one more year. Select the range Q5 through AD36. Drag this selection to AR36 to extend a template further. Update the formula in AR5, change +1 to +2. Grouping columns. To focus on the current year, group and hide monthly columns for other years. First, select columns D2O. Go to View, Group, Group Columns D2O. A grouping line will appear above the column headers. Click the minus sign to hide the columns. Only the year total column will remain visible. Repeat for additional years. Group and hide columns for subsequent years following the same steps. To unhide the columns, click the plus sign in the grouping line and then minus sign to hide again. Select columns, PU, and AE. Resize them to 12 pixels. Click on a plus sign to show months columns for 2024. Conclusion. With this setup, you can easily manage and extend your budget planner for any number of years. Additionally, you can keep your view organized by grouping and hiding columns for years not currently in use, ensuring a focused and efficient workflow. Change your starting year to 2025. Creating the cash flow worksheet. Click this tab to open it. Setting up the table. In B4 to F4, type the headers. B4, date. C4, type. D4, category. E4, amount. F4, details. Increase the width of column D to 200 pixels. Column F to 300. Next, extend the rows. Scroll to the bottom of the sheet and click Add 24,000 more rows to reserve space for future records. Adding data validation and formatting. Date column. Select B5, navigate to Menu, Data, Data Validation. Click Add Rule, change the range to B5 B25,000 and set criteria to as valid date, then press Done. Next, navigate to Menu, Format, Number. Select Custom Date and Time, choose Day, Month, Year and press Apply. Feel free to choose any date format that you prefer. Now, double-clicking on B5 will activate a calendar picker for date selection. Type column. Select C5, click Add Rule, Criteria, drop-down. Option 1, type, income. Option 2, expenses. Click, add another item and type, savings. Under Advanced Options, select Display Style, arrow. Press Done. Amount column. Select E5, click Add Rule. Set criteria to Custom Formula is and type equals is number, E5. Press Done. Next, navigate to Menu, Format, Number. Select Custom Number Format and choose hashtag, hashtag 0. Now, we will build a dynamic drop-down for the Categories column. Open the C2 worksheet. In A1, type Income. In B1, type Expenses. In C1, type Savings. Select categories from the data tables we created in a budget sheet. In A2, enter. In B2, enter. In C2, enter. Create named ranges. Go to Data, Named Ranges, add a range. Name it as Income Range. Then press Select Data Range, select A2 a 30, click OK, then Done. Click Add a Range, name it as Expenses Range. Then press Select Data Range, select B2, B30, click OK, then Done. Click Add a Range, name it as Savings Range. Then press Select Data Range, select C2, C30, click OK, then Done. Next, in I1, enter the formula. Press Enter. Now, you can test how it is working. Step 1. Ensure enough columns for future use. Before testing, check how many empty columns you have on the right side of your spreadsheet. If your columns extend up to AL, that's fine. If not, select columns L to Z, right-click, and choose Insert 15 columns right. This provides a reserve space for future category development. Step 2. Test the drop-down for category selection. Switch to the Cash Flow tab and insert a record, choosing Expenses as a type. Switch to the C2 tab. You should now see all expense categories populated in I1 through O1. Switch back to the Cash Flow tab. Click on D5, navigate to Insert, drop-down. Set criteria to drop down from a range and type equals C2, $I1, $AL1. In Advanced Options, change Display Style to Arrow, then click Done. Now, test the drop-down. Click D5 and select a category Housing from the drop-down list. Next, change C5 to Income. Important notice about category changes. When you change the type, a red triangle appears at the upper right corner of D5. If you hover over the D5 arrow, a warning message will pop up. This happens because housing is not an income category. Ignore the warning and select a new valid category, such as employment. That's it. Your drop-down is now dynamically linked to your selected type. Write 4,000 as an amount in E5. Next, select B4 through F5, right-click, Convert to Table. Rename table to cash_flow. Hide the table name from its header. Select B2, followed by the arrow down key, and type 2 double quotation marks into the formula bar. Press Enter. Apply alternating colors. Select B4 to F5, navigate to Format, Alternating Colors. Set header color to number 577,590. Creating and managing records. Adding records. Double-click B6 to activate the calendar, select a date. Set C6 to expenses, D6 to housing, and E6 to 1,200. Add another record, select a date, set C7 to savings, D7 to savings account, and E7 to 200. Conclusion. Your cash flow table is now dynamically connected to your budget categories. You can easily manage records with drop-downs, validations, and conditional formatting. Further extensions, formatting, and adjustments can be made as your budget grows. Formatting and customization. Set conditional formatting for the type column. Click C5, navigate to Format, Conditional Formatting, add another rule. In Apply to Range, enter C5 C25,000. Format rules, choose Custom Formulators. Enter below, equals C5 equals income. Formatting style, fill color, hashtag E2FTA, text color, hashtag 38761D, bold. Click Done. Add another rule. In Apply to Range, enter C5 C25000. Format rules, choose Custom formula is. Enter below, equals C5 equals expenses. Formatting style, fill color, hashtag FFE40A. Click Done. Add one more rule. In Apply to Range, enter C5 C25000. Format rules, choose Custom formula is. Enter below, equals C5 equals savings. Formatting style, fill color, hashtag dep7. Click Done. Set formatting for amount and category columns. Follow similar steps for the ranges D5 D25000 and E5 E25000. Setting up a uniform background and enhancements for the cash flow table. Set a uniform background color. Close the Conditional Format Rules window. Select the entire worksheet, click on any cell outside the table and press Ctrl+A. To exclude the table area from this selection, press and hold the Ctrl key and select the area A4 through F7. Navigate to the toolbar and click on the Fill Color icon. Choose Custom Color. In the Color Input field, enter hashtag FCE4D6. Apply the color. Click on A4 and drag down to A7 to highlight these cells and apply the same color. Create a named range for dates. Click on B5. Go to Data, Named Ranges. Click Add a Range, name it tracking_date and set the data range to B5 B25000. Click Done. Add header information for the last record date and total records. Close the Named Ranges window. Merge cells. Select D2E2, then click on Merge Cells in the toolbar. Last record date formula. In the Merge D2E2 cell, write the formula. Set the font size to 13, bold, and center align the text both horizontally and vertically. Total records formula. In F2, enter the formula. Set the font size to 13, bold, and center align the text both horizontally and vertically. Remove grid lines. Navigate to View, Show, Grid Lines, and uncheck the option to remove grid lines from the worksheet for a cleaner appearance. Your Cash Flow tab is now uniformly styled, with a professional look and dynamic header information that tracks the last record date and total number of entries. Now, we will switch our development to Summary page. Before doing that, we have to make some preparations. Open the C1 worksheet. Preparing data for drop-down lists. Step 1. The Year drop-down list. Click on H1 and type Year drop-down. Click on H3 and type 2025. Click on H4 and type 2026. Select H3 and H4, then drag the selection down to H28 until you reach 2050 to populate the list. Step 2. The Period drop-down list. Click on J1 and type Period drop-down. Click on J3 and type Total Year. Click on J4 and type Current Month. Click on J5 and type January. Click on J6 and type February. Select J5 and J6, then drag the selection down to J16 until you reach December to complete the list. Switch to the Summary worksheet. Resize columns. Adjust column widths as follows: A to 21, B to 170, C, D, E, F to 90. G to 45. Header setup. Click P2 and write Analyze the year. Set the font size to 12, bold, horizontal align, right, vertical align, middle. Resize row 2. Right-click row 2, choose Resize row, and select Specify row height 21. Click OK. Year drop-down. Click on C2, navigate to Insert, Drop-down. Change criteria to drop-down, from Range, and write C1, H3, H28. In Advanced Options, change Display Style to Arrow. Click Done. Test the drop-down, then select 2025 and set the font size to 12, bold. Vertical align, middle. Create a named range for the year. Navigate to Data, Named Ranges. Add a range based on C2 and name it selected _year. Click Done. Period drop-down. Merge D2 E2 and type, and the period. Set the font size to 12, bold. Horizontal align, right, vertical align, middle. Merge F2 G2, then navigate to Insert, Drop-down. Change criteria to drop down from Range and write C1, J3, J16. In Advanced Options, change the display style to Arrow. Click Done. Test the drop-down. Select Total Year. Set the font size to 12, bold. Horizontal align, center, vertical align, middle. Switch to the C1 worksheet. In D19, write Selected Year. In D20, write Selected Period. In E19, enter the formula. In E20, enter the formula. Create a named range for selected period. Go to Data, Named Ranges. Add a range based on E20 and name it selected underscore period. Click Done. Switch to the Summary worksheet. Create Sort by dropdown. In B4, write Sort by. Set the font size to 12, bold, horizontal align, right. Merge C4 D4. Navigate to Insert, Dropdown. Set Option 1 as Budget. Add Option 2 as Actual. In Advanced Options, change Display Style to Arrow. Click Done. Test it, choose Budget. Format as Arial 12, bold, horizontal align, center. Create a named range for Sort by. Go to Data, Named Ranges. Add a range based on C4 and name it Sorted Summary. Click Done. Our summary page is now set up with dynamic dropdowns and ready for further development. Next, we will build our summary table. Step 1. Create the header for the summary table. In B6, type Income. In C6, type Budget. In D6, type Actual. In E6, type Progress. In F6, type Remaining. Make all headers bold by selecting B6 F6 and clicking the bold icon. Step 2. Add the formula to populate the summary table. Insert the formula into B7. We are now ready to add a multi-line SQL query formula in B7. This formula is designed to extract and format data from the budget and cash_flow tables. Note: I won't go into all the details and techniques behind this formula, as it's beyond the scope of this tutorial. However, if you're interested in a detailed breakdown, let me know in the comments, and I might create a separate video just for that. How to copy the formula. For your convenience, I will now slowly scroll through the formula so you can copy it step by step. If you prefer, you can also find a download link in the video description. Now, let's get started. When you finish, press Enter and check the results to ensure the data is extracted and displayed correctly. You can also find a download link for the complete formula in the video description. Step 3. Apply conditional formatting for readability. For the income header, navigate to Format, Conditional Formatting. Add another rule. In Apply to Range, enter B6G150. Format rules, choose Custom Formula is. Enter below, equals $B6 equals income. Formatting style, fill color, hashtag DB7. Click Done. For the expenses header, add another rule. Apply to range, B8G150. Format rules, choose Custom Formula is. Enter below, equals $B8 equals expenses. Formatting style, fill color, hashtag FDCCD8. Click Done. For the savings header, add another rule. Apply to range, B9G150. Format rules, choose Custom Formula is. Enter below, equals $B9 equals savings. Formatting style, fill color, hashtag C3DDF7. Click Done. For the total rows, add another rule. Apply to range, B7G150. Format rules, choose Custom Formula is. Enter below, equals $B7 equals total. Formatting style, fill color, hashtag D9D9D9. Click Done. Your summary table is now both functional and visually organized. Now, we will prepare data for pie charts. Switch to the C1 worksheet. In L2, write for pie charts. Below this, we'll start organizing the data for the actual income summary pie chart. In L4, insert the formula. Press Enter and see the result. We also need to add a total row. In L10 write total, and in M10 place the formula. Next, add test data to the cash flow tab. Switch to the cash flow worksheet. Add the following test records into the table. I want to note that I'm not filling the details column with any data in this video, simply to save time. However, you can use this column for your personal notes whenever needed. It's a great place to add additional information about specific transactions for future reference. Now, switch back to C1 worksheet and see the result. Verify that the data in L4M8 displays the top 5 highest received income categories along with their amounts. The remaining smaller income sources, such as YouTube channel and dividend, are automatically grouped under the other row for better readability. Prepare additional columns before building the pie chart. In N4, enter the formula. Drag this formula down to N10. In O4, enter the formula. Drag this formula down to O10. This ensures only non-zero income categories are included in these columns. In P4, enter the formula. Format P4. Navigate to Format, Number, Custom Number Format. Choose 0%. Drag P4 down to P9. This calculates the percentage of each category relative to the total. Now, switch to the Summary tab. Resize column H. Right-click on column header H, choose Resize Column, and set it to 21. Insert a pie chart. Navigate to Insert, Chart, and set the following. Chart type, pie chart. Data range, C1, P4, P9. Press Enter. Label, add label, C1, P4, P9. Value, C1, P4, P9. Click Customize, Chart Style. Chart border color, set to white. Navigate to Pie Chart section. Set. Slice label, choose label. Label font, set to 10, bold. Close the chart editor. To calibrate the chart size, place it in a 36. Resize it to fit a 36:44. Move the chart to I2. Copy the chart, Ctrl+C, and paste 2 more charts below. Move one created to I12. Another one move to I22. For the upper pie chart, add Income Summary header. Select L2 M3 and merge the cells. Write, Income Summary, Actual. Set the font size 11, bold. Text alignment, left and center. Text color, #7303F. Add labels. In L4, type. Drag this formula down to L10. Add values. In M4, write. Drag this formula down to M10. Format total row. Select L10 M10. Apply bold font. Fill color, #D8D8D8. Resize column K. Right-click on column header K, choose Resize Column, and set it to 21. Add colors. Fill cells with the corresponding colors. K4, #7303F. K5, #76AC3A. K6, #85C042. K7, #9ed301. K8, #DA9. K9, #def5ce. Now, we'll customize the default slice colors of the pie chart to match our custom colors defined in K4 K9. Double-click on the blue slice of the chart. In the chart editor, click on the color box, navigate to Custom Color. Use the eyedropper tool to pick a customer color, matching the color of K4. Click on the red slice, pick the color of K5. Repeat this process for the remaining slices. Once completed, your pie chart will have a consistent color scheme, improving its clarity and visual appeal. To build the expenses summary pie chart, we need more records in the cash flow worksheet. Open it. Then, add the following expenses records into the table. Switch to the summary worksheet. Verify the expenses section now reflects the added expenses data. Test the sort by dropdown. Change the selection from actual to budget and back to verify that the data is displayed in the correct order. Next, prepare expenses data for the pie chart. Switch to the C1 worksheet. In R4, enter the formula to generate the top 5 expenses and the other category. You can use the same formula as the one for the income pie chart, entered in L4. Just replace every instance of income with expenses throughout the formula. Press Enter. Verify that the data in R4S8 displays the top 5 highest expense categories along with their amounts. The remaining smaller expenses, such as internet and phone, are automatically grouped under the other row for better readability. Next, add the total row. In R10, type total. In S10, enter the formula to sum the total expenses equals sum S4 S9. Prepare additional columns for the expenses summary pie chart. In T4, enter the formula equals if S40 R4. Drag this formula down to T10. In U4, enter the formula equals if S40 S4. Drag this formula down to U10. In V4, enter the formula equals if error U4/$U$10, 0. Format V4. Navigate to Format, Number, Custom Number Format. Choose 0%. Drag V4 down to V9. This calculates the percentage of each category relative to the total. Now, create the expenses summary pie chart. Switch to the Summary tab. Select the second pie chart. Click on the 3-dot sign, then Edit Chart. In the Chart Editor window, change the data range to C1, V4, V9. Press Enter. Next, select L12, M13 and merge the cells. Type Expenses Summary, Actual. Set the font size 11. Bold. Text alignment, left and middle. Text color #DD4D71. In L14, type =C1, T4. Drag this formula down to L20. In M14, type =C1, U4. Drag this formula down to M20. Format total row. Select L20, M20. Apply bold font. Fill color, #D8D8D8. Fill cells with the corresponding colors. K14. #DD4D71. K15. #FF6D92. K16. #FF94AE. K17. #FFB9CB. K18. #FFCCFF. K19. #FDDCFD. Now, We'll customize the default slice colors of the pie chart to match our custom colors defined in K14 K19, following same steps as we did for the income pie chart. To build the savings summary pie chart, we need more records in the cash flow worksheet. Open it. Then, add the following savings records into the table. Next, switch to the summary worksheet. Verify the savings section now reflects the added savings data. Test the sort by dropdown, change the selection from actual to budget and back to verify that the data is displayed in the correct order. Now, prepare data for the savings pie chart. Switch to C1 worksheet. In X4, enter the following formula. You can use the same formula as the one for the income pie chart, entered in L4. Just replace every instance of income with savings throughout the formula. Press Enter. As you can see, the query selects 5 highest contributed savings categories and summarizes less contributed savings categories, sinking fund, in other row. Next, add the total row. In X10 type total. In Y10, enter the formula to sum the total savings equals sum Y4 Y9. Prepare additional columns for pie chart calculation. In Z4, enter the formula equals if Y40 X4. Drag this formula down to Z10. Now, you need 2 more columns in your worksheet. If you don't have A end of columns, click on Z column header and choose Insert 1 column right twice. In A4, enter the formula equals if Y40 Y4. Drag this formula down to A10. In AB4, enter the formula equals if error A4/$A $10,0. Drag AB4 down to AB9. This calculates the percentage of each category relative to the total. Click on the 3 dots sign, then Edit Chart. In the Chart Editor window, change the data range to C1, AB4 AB9, press Enter. Next, select L22 M23 and merge the cells. Type Savings Summary, Actual. Set the font size 11. Bold. Text alignment. Left and middle. Text color. To #578AV. In L24 type. Equals C1, Z4. Drag it down to L30. In M24 type. Equals C1, A4, distribute it to M30, drag down to M30. Select L30 M30. Apply bold and fill with color #D8 D8 D8. Fill cells K24 to K29 with the corresponding colors. K24. Hashtag 578abe. K25. Hashtag 6796c5. K26. Hashtag 8eiod. K27. Hashtag B4C6E7. K28. Hashtag cadv. K29. Hashtag D8E2F7. Now, we'll customize the default slice colors of the pie chart to match our custom colors defined in K24, K29, following same steps as we did for the income and expenses pie charts. Next, resize columns L equals 165, M equals 65, N equals 12, O equals 21. Now, we will prepare data for budget versus actual charts. Switch to C1 worksheet. In L18 write, for budget versus actual charts. Name rows and columns as follows. In L21, write budget. In L22, write actual. In M20, write income. In N20, write expenses. In O20, write savings. Assign formulas for budget amounts. For income budget amount, place the next formula in M21. For expenses budget amount, write the same formula in N21, where you replaced every instance of income with expenses. For savings budget amount, write the same formula in O21, doing similar adjustments to savings. For income actual amount, place the next formula in M22. For expenses actual amount, place the formula in N22. For savings actual amount, place the formula in O22. Now, create 3 more charts. Chart 1. Income per period. Switch to the summary worksheet. Resize columns P and Q to 140 pixels each. Insert a chart. Click Insert, Chart. Chart type, Column chart. Set the data range, C1, M21, M22. Press Enter. Customize the chart. Open the Customize tab. Chart style. Set chart border color to white. Chart and axis titles. Title text, Income per period. Font size, 14, bold. Text color, #7303F. Series. Fill color, #B9D6 of 5. Mark the checkbox for data labels. Label adjustments. Double-click the left column label and write budget as the text label. Double-click the right column label and write actual as the text label. Close the chart editor. Resize and position. Move and resize the chart to fit P2Q10. Copy this chart, Ctrl+C, click below and paste twice. Move new charts to P12Q20 and P22Q30. Chart 2. Expenses per period. Select the chart in P12Q20. Edit chart. Change the data range to C1 and 21 and 22. Press Enter. Open Customize tab. Chart and Axis titles. Change the title text to Expenses per period. Text color #DD4D71. Series. Fill color #FF8FAB. Chart 3. Savings per period. Select the last chart and edit it. Change the data range to C1, 021, 022. Press Enter. Open Customize tab. Chart and Axis titles. Change the title text, Savings per period. Text color #578AB. Series. Fill color #9CB4DF. Creating monthly income, expenses, and savings charts. Finally, the last 3 charts left are monthly charts. For better illustration, we need to create some data on a monthly basis. Switch to Cash Flow tab and insert records for January to December 2025. Next, switch to the C1 worksheet. In L24, write For monthly charts. In J26, insert the formula for income data. Press Enter. Additional column setup. In N27, enter the formula equals if J27 month. In N28, enter the formula equals if J28 and drag it down to N38. In O27, enter the formula equals if K27 0. In O28, enter the formula equals if K28 and drag it down to O38. Next, insert the formula for expenses data in J40. You can use the same formula as the one for the income chart entered in J26. Just replace two instances of income with expenses. In N41, enter the formula equals if J41 month. In N42, enter the formula equals if J42 and drag it down to N52. In O41, enter the formula. In O42, enter the formula equals if K42 and drag it down to O52. Next, insert the formula for savings data in J54. You can use the same formula as the one for the income chart entered in J26. Just replace two instances of income with savings. Press Enter. Additional column setup. In N55, enter the formula equals if J55 month. In N56, enter the formula equals if J56 and drag it down to N66. In O55, enter the formula. In O56, enter the formula equals if K56 and drag it down to O66. Now, you have prepared all data to create the monthly charts for income, expenses, and savings. Switch to Summary tab. Resize columns are set to 21 pixels. S and T set to 140 pixels each. Navigate to Insert, Chart, Column Chart. Set data range, C1, N27, N38, C1, O27, O38. Press Enter. Select Customize. In Chart Style, set chart border color to white. In Chart and Axis Titles, chart title text. Type Actual Income Monthly. Set the font size to 14. Bold. Text color #7303F. Select series. Fill color #B9D6A5. Close the chart editor, resize and move your chart to fit S2T10. Copy this chart and paste it twice. Move one to S12T20, another to S22T30. Select the chart in S12T20, press on 3 dots and choose Edit Chart. Change data range to C1, N41, N52, C1, O41, O52. Press Enter. Select Customize. Select Chart and Axis Titles, Chart Title, Title Text. Change it to Actual Expenses Monthly. Text color #DD4D71. Select Series. Fill color change to #FF8FAB. Close the chart editor. Select the last chart and edit it. Change data range to C1, N55, N66, C1, O55, O66. Press Enter. Select Customize. Select Chart and Axis Titles, Chart Title, Title Text. Change it to Actual Savings Monthly. Text color #578AV. Select Series, Fill Color, change to #9CB4DF. Close the chart editor. Final steps. Adding background color and dynamic formatting. Step 1. Set the background color for the summary sheet. Select the following ranges. Row 1. B2. D2. E2. B3 G3. B4. E4 to G4. B5 to G5. I11 to T11. I21 to T21. I31 to T150. Set the fill color to #FCE4D6. Next, select columns AHORU to Z and fill same color. Step 2. Add conditional formatting for summary table to keep it properly colored while adding or deleting rows. Navigate to Format, Conditional Formatting, add another rule. Apply to range, B8G150. Custom formula equals $B7 equals. Formatting style. Fill color. #FCE4D6. Press Done. This format will automatically apply the background color to all empty rows below the summary table. Add another rule. Apply to range, B8G150. Custom formula equals $B7 equals total. Formatting style. Fill color. #FCE4D6. Press Done. This format will automatically apply the background color to all empty rows between summary table sections. Add another rule. Apply to range, B7G150. Custom formula is equals $B7 not empty. Formatting style. Fill color, white. Press Done. This format will keep all rows containing data white-colored, keeping your spreadsheet visually clean and organized. Close the Conditional Format Rules editor. Testing automatic formatting in the summary table. Step 1. Delete a row from the income table. Open the budget worksheet. Delete a row from the income table by selecting a row inside the table. Right-click. Delete table row. Switch to the summary worksheet. Verify the formatting changes. The income section now has one row less. The expenses and savings sections shifted up by one row. The background color remains intact, keeping the formatting consistent. Step 2. Restore the deleted row. Verify that the summary table has returned to its original state, with all sections properly aligned and formatted. Success. This test confirms that the summary table dynamically updates when the budget table changes. Conditional formatting rules are preserved, ensuring that colors remain visually structured. Undo restores the previous state correctly. This is an essential feature for a dynamic budget planner, making sure your reports adapt automatically as data changes. Final touch. Removing grid lines for a cleaner look. To make your budget planner look cleaner and more professional, you can remove grid lines. Navigate to View, Show. Uncheck the Grid Lines option. For your convenience, you can enhance the usability of the cash flow worksheet by modifying its display settings. Click on the Cash Flow tab to open the worksheet. Select the first 4 rows. Right-click on the selection. Navigate to view more row actions and select Freeze up to row 1. This will lock the upper 4 rows, ensuring that the table header remains visible while you scroll through your data, making it easier to navigate and manage records. And, finally, hide technical worksheets C1 and C2. Right-click on their tabs, one by one, and choose Hide Sheet. Congratulations! You've successfully built a comprehensive budget planner in Google Sheets. This tool will help you track income, expenses, and savings effortlessly. Visualize financial data using interactive charts. Customize and expand it for long-term financial planning. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any suggestions for additional data points or graphs to include, feel free to share your ideas in the comments below. Thank you for following along, and happy budgeting!